Welcome to this page, Soul Shine, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the work that I do, and just as an introduction to meeting you all. So what I want to share with you all is that something that many of you are probably aware of is we are going through an ascension, which means that we are shedding and unraveling all the old patriarchal energy, all the old programming. And now something that I do in my work is I help people shift the old matrix. So I help people take off, or I work with very, very high beings, and we actually work with removing anything that is not keeping you sovereign, that's not keeping your mind liberated, your spirit, your body, your mind, body, spirit. So I was given an ability to do this about 14 years ago, where I'd been doing a chakra meditation, which I'd been doing for a couple of years. And when I got to my crown at this one point, my whole body began to shake, and it continued to shake with this electrical energy for about 3/4 of an hour, where I could actually stand up and my whole body was still shaking, and I was this huge 10 to 12 foot tall being who was in divine bliss. And so obviously, after that happening, it didn't all instantly appear, but what did happen to me was I was shown, when I went to have my first session with someone, all of a sudden I had this ability. I went to do Seishim on them, actually, which I'd been trained to do. Now, Seishim is the feminine version of Reiki. And I went to do this. I was on the Greek islands in Greece with my boyfriend at the time, my then boyfriend, and I went to do this Seishim, and something said, put the pendulum down, and I put it down, and then all of a sudden I had huge amounts of information coming through me as I moved my hands around his body, and my hands knew exactly what to do. So my hands were moving aside from my mind. I was channeling and being shown infinite amounts of information about what we were releasing and removing. And and at the same time I could see through his body, and I could see his spine, and I could actually see the inside of his body and as to what we were removing. And now a part of this is because of the journey I've been on, which I started meditating at the age of 13 due to feeling very unsupported, very unloved, and really not wanting to be here on the planet. And so I have done a lot of work on myself, and I had been really that source energy was what I found at the age of 13, which became like my parent, because I didn't actually feel that my parents weren't really there for me. So now in my work, what I do is I do sessions online, so there is no separation with this work. So at this time of ascension, as we are moving through a lot of old trauma, a lot of old wounding, we are also moving through deep trauma and deep sadness and deep abuse that has happened to us not only in this life, but has happened to us over thousands of lifetimes. And so the way this may come up for many of you, and I know definitely over the last 4 weeks, it's been quite an intense, crazy time for a lot of people. There was a lot of shadow work towards the end of last year. Some people are really navigating through that now. Everyone has their own timing, but this shadow work is happening because we are literally now being asked to clear out the cells of the memory of trauma, the memory of abuse, and to do that, we actually have to go into it. And often we don't even know what that is. We might just feel incredibly sad, incredibly unworthy, incredibly down. And I just really wanted to say to you here that remember that this is a process that you're experiencing, and the hopelessness in this is a scary thing. I understand it. I really do. I've recently had to just move through some enormous shadow work myself and really try to keep myself here. Now, as we hold on and as we stay here, we eventually will get through this. We will eventually get to see what is on the other side. We're not just removing this lifetime's programming. We're removing thousands of years of programming. So it is enormous. And if you have asked to wake up, and if you're waking up, then don't expect this to be an easy ride. But do expect that when you travel through darkness, when you go into acceptance of what the actual sadness is, and cry and allow yourself to feel it instead of just resisting it, then you will get through it. It will have its passage. It will have its period of time. The thing that brought me out of what I was in personally was a dear friend being there for me at a time when, you know, I didn't know who could actually hold that sort of energetic. And then having a really amazing experience. It was actually a medicine experience. And then at the end, I went outside and I started to sit on the earth, and I started to look down, and I saw all these beautiful red leaves and these beautiful purple leaves, and I was like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. And I started making a sun with them, you know. And this part of myself, because I'm creative, I'm an artist, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I've got these multidimensional creative abilities. This very simple side of myself to create in nature, enjoy, I'd lost. Life had become too serious. Life had become intense. Recently, I just kind of feel like I lost my child, and my child has gone to my mother's, and he doesn't talk to me, and he treats me badly, and it really, losing my mother and my son, you know, that was my trigger. And so whatever your trigger is, the answer in this, the key in this, is to keep it really, really, really simple. Because when you're in that dark place, you don't want to take yourself into more overwhelm by pushing yourself. To be honest, I would seriously just recommend going out into nature, putting your feet into a stream or into a lake, or if you don't have that around you, going and sitting in a park and getting some sticks and getting some leaves and making stuff. You know, it could be a little bit narrow-minded for me to assume that what worked for me will work for you. But really, what I'm talking about here is the play. And in this whole programming, what happened in this programming was a lot of the play and the manipulation, the reptilian manipulation, a lot of the play was taken away from us. And, you know, this manipulation ended up in our parents, and they took the play from us. And then we took the play from us, and we put that as second. But actually, funnily enough, it is the secret. It is the key, the play. Go out into nature. Find sticks. Find something you can create with. If you need a result, take a photo of it. You know, have fun with it. Bring yourself back to simplicity. Bring yourself back to the joy of the child. Because this child is going to be your leader in the next level of 5D. This child is the creator and is the power of you, who has been caged, held back, told they're not good enough, felt they're not good enough due to old programming, old words. From today, from this moment, you can start again. From today, from this moment, you can choose for it to be simple. You can choose to bring the joy back in. You can choose to relinquish the worry of money and bring yourself back to joy, because joy will bring all of those things back in for you naturally. There is a natural framework that the universe is going to provide for you when you choose joy, when you choose the child. So in the depths of my my experience and my intense shadow that I was experiencing for about 4 weeks recently, that hit me and shocked me, because I've already walked through this, I'd already figured it out, and I was cool. I'd had depression for most of my life, but it hadn't touched me for about 3 years. And in that, I found that the only way out for me was to begin to create. So on New Year's Eve, when everyone was out partying, I started painting. I was shown a vision, and this vision was very representative of who I and what I've stepped into as I've come out of the abyss and into the next level in myself again, showing me the power of creating, the power that I have when I sit and I play my music and people turn, that part of me that I hide so much, that's it. That's my abundance. It's as simple as it gets. You might not play guitar, you might not sing, you might not paint. It's different for all of us, but what did you used to do as a child? What's that thing you used to do? Was it climb a tree? What was it? Was it write? Was it sing? Whatever. Bring yourself back to that in this time. If this is something that you're experiencing, I'm just going to, while I'm here, I'm going to hope that the computer doesn't disconnect, because if it does, I'm going to lose you because it's broken. So I'm just going to turn this around gently. This is the painting that I did on New Year's Eve, and it's still in progress. You can see how it's, it's just there. And then next to it is the sacred geometry, which actually just came through. It chose itself, and I found my hand just doing this next to it, and it chose to be what it is here, which is, it's got the sacred Merkaba in the center, and it looks like the DNA. And what it looks like to me is the new crystalline grid that's coming through, and the child, is obviously, inviting us in and saying, come on, make a wish, the world's your oyster, here's the dandelion that he or she is holding. And in that process, actually, the beings, it was like I was doing a portal, painting a portal. There was this energy all around me. I kept seeing things. I got told about the bird people, the blue avians, which I'd never heard about before. And they've come to me since then. And apparently they're helping assist us from darkness into the light on the planet right now. So, yes, that is my message today. Please contact me. I work very galactically, but I also will help you really navigate through the beliefs and learn how to actually shift those and switch them off so that they're no longer governing who you are. It will change your life. It will change your life session. They have a big impact on people. The work, I get to see meridians, and I get shown meridians, and in those meridians are experiences that have happened to people, and under that generally are often beliefs or things that happen. Now, I'm shamanically trained, so this is, I think, my 8th life as a shaman. So when I work, I see and I channel, everything will get recorded. So you'll have a beautiful recording. Plus, when I put my hands over these experiences, it all gets transmuted through my body. And people end up feeling incredible and clear. And it really just begins their passage and their journey. You end up doing a lot of the leading. I allow you to take me to where we need to go. And I have a light being who works through me called Kiara Kora, so we speak light language, and I interpret what's actually happening for you in that process. So if this is calling your heart, I urge you to contact me through my inbox, and let's go from there. We can do a free 15-20 minute a chat where we can get to know each other, and then maybe we can book in for a session if you feel called. I'm sending you so much love, and really I hope you are all having a beautiful day. Remember your hearts, my dear ones. Lots of love.